What's up, T-Dun? The Pred, what's going on? Great to see you guys come in. Hopefully you guys had a great week. Pretty soon we will get this show on the road. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing price raising, but it almost seems non-stop. There's always some sort of price raising. Feeling pretty good for the most part. Getting some exciting content done for this upcoming week, guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Yeah, maybe some new RAM, that would be nice. I'm excited for it. What's up, Egyptian? Stream just, yeah, exactly. And let's go ahead and get the show started. What's up, fam bam? What's up, guys? This is Chris Muzo here. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, I usually talk about PC and tech. It seems with the most latest updates, it seems that AMD has decided to go ahead and start to raise their prices when it comes to their GPUs, and all thanks to, once again, to RAM. LSG, what's going on? So yes, it almost seems like you have to be pretty much very comfortable to be able to actually build a PC. It's pretty sad, I gotta say, especially this time and age, especially for all those who want to move from console over to PC. It's truly really not an easy thing to do. What's up, Z-Man? Great to see you. And I'll actually show you what's going on here for anyone that is curious about what is going on. So this is it right here. Some more RAM issues, of course, is forcing the GPUs to raise up in pricing. I know for anyone that is looking at AMD cards, this is probably going to be a very tough decision and a hard pill to swallow, especially to find value in a AMD GPU to pay. I mean, RX 9070 XT is already roughly about $650. You can pay $700 at the most for the lower tier. Now, when it comes to raising the prices, if they push it up another, say, 15-20%, how can anybody continue building at this case? So I'm genuinely sorry for this generation of gamers. Not only prices are going up, but everything but the internet regulations in other countries too. Yeah, it's truly ridiculous. So I noticed that the prices for the 5070 Ti and the 5080 are falling. This happened before. You know, more than likely, it gives a bit more evidence that this super might actually happen. Almost truly feel like the whole RTX 6000 series isn't going to happen, at least until the next year. And more so that this whole 50 series, the 50 Super series, is actually going to happen before then. So thankfully I was able to pick up 3 270K bundles. Oh, that's awesome. You know, I was actually thinking of going to Micro Center today to be kind of like a random stream here. But more than likely we'll end up doing it next week. I just want to make sure to see what type of hardware we have before we end up going to Micro Center. So be prepared next week, next Saturday. Make sure to tune in for that Micro Center stream. It'll be on YouTube and on Twitch. What's up, Takuma? I paid $900 for my 5070 Ti. That's actually a great deal. I mean, I know quite a few people out there who was able to nab it pretty early. Some people were able to grab it like at $700. Remember Ricky, guys? Like when we went to Micro Center and he was able to get the MSI Shadow RTX 5070 Ti for a awesome deal. He was able to pick it up for as low as, I think it was right at $700. What's up, Ernesto? Great to see you. The UK is tripping. They will regret it in the next 20 years. I got into tech when I was 11, and now my little studio thing without YouTube, I'm sure they would lose out on some big Oh, absolutely. The thing is, they don't look at it as lost opportunity for the main reason because They believe that they're going to pretty much invest it all into AI. Even when it comes to the new PCI Express 6 controllers, they do already exist. And they're supposed to release by sometime by the next year. But it's believed that all the PCI Express 6 controllers will end up being sent out to about 80% of them will be sent out to AI. So that just gives you a good indication of where this market is and how crazy it still is going for AI. So, do you think these higher prices is the new normal? Temporary new normal, I would say. We won't see a true price adjustment until probably like about maybe the largest one I would say is if this bubble pops, and more than likely it's probably going to pop sooner than later. It's truly unsustainable, as we spoke about on Wednesday, when it comes to these type of prices. SK Hynix believes that this can go on until all the way till 2030, and if that does happen, then there's no way that this market can continue going on this way. It's just unsustainable. Everything would just end up crashing if that's the case. So Z-Man says, I would be lucky enough to get the 5070 Ti before the MSRP of $750 back in November before the price went up. That would, yes, you are very lucky for that. And for anyone that is looking for GPUs, hopefully you will be able to get some great deals upcoming. And as soon as I do, I will let everybody know what type of deals that there are for Amazon Prime days, and especially for those who are looking for some great deals on a Fantastic Tech, which is also coming up with Newegg. So if you are looking for a new GPU or a new SSD, anything pretty much new hardware, I will do my best to pretty much dig out like whatever best deals that they currently do have, and I will make sure to have them post it or even go live and we can take a look at a few different deals online to see what they do have available. GH says, even when things go back to normal, we'll never go back to where it even was last year. I do truly believe that it's going to be very tough to see 32 gigabytes of RAM to drop down all the way down to back to $100 even, or $90. Remember, they were in the double digits at one time, even if it was, but typically the the double digit priced RAM was usually like CL36, and now CL36 is now, you can see it for $440. So T Dunn says, if DDR5 RAM is high, why would anyone manufacture DDR2 memory at a lower price? Yeah, and that's the exact reason. It's just because DDR4 is an older technology, for example. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily cheaper. Sure, the technology is older, so it should be cheaper on the technicality side of it. In fact, DDR4 was supposed to be canceled within, I believe it was late last year. And because of everything that has happened, it actually forced the production of DDR4 to continue. They looked at DDR4 being pretty much a waste to produce, especially now when it comes to RAM. And now they're even producing up to DDR3, which would be pretty ridiculous at this point. If you were to build a PC, would you want to build a retro PC at this point? Like, if you didn't have the money and you were forced to build a PC, would anyone be willing to build a PC based on older PC components? And I truly find that hard to believe, especially with, actually, let me get back into this whole Rockstar issue too. Now, when it comes to GTA 6, there is certainly a lot of hype, and I mean some serious hype with it. Of course, you have some people that are questioning some of the ideas when it comes to GTA 6, when it comes to the gator's mouth. How many teeth does a gator truly have? And of course, there's nobody's going to truly know this type of answer. I don't think anybody's going to be that intricate enough to count teeth in a gator's mouth, but that just kind of gives you an idea of what the expectations are going to be for GTA 6 compared to what the reality is going to be. Now, GTA 6, I think, will end up being an excellent game. I think it's going to be great. But is it going to be to the level where people expect it to be, like, probably right up here? And then, more than likely, the GTA 6 presentation, and eventually when it does end up releasing, it's probably going to be probably right there, I would think. And the reason why I say that is because they people want perfection. They want this to practically be like a simulation of life. It's pretty ridiculous, I gotta say. So Egyptian says, you saw the Spider-Man movie trailer that released 2 or 3 days ago. Sony really took a lot. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I wonder if it's going to be really good. I'm curious. Hopefully, you guys are excited for this new Spider-Man. In fact, I was actually going to catch up on the third movie so that way I could catch the fourth. I do want to check that out though. But on the whole GTA 6 front, there's a lot of fear that's also going on with it. And the reason why I do say that is because if you notice, if you go onto GTA's website right here, um, take a look here. Once you go here, sure, they mentioned pre-order date, right? It's going to be available for pre-order, which is going to be June 25th. But what people do fear is the fact that when it comes to this whole GTA 6, is that it doesn't truly tell you the release date anymore. It's not on here. Before it would actually tell you that it was going to be released in November, but now it's removed. So is that just people panicking about a late release? And there was also going to be some late indications here when it comes to the whole union, when it comes to Take Two Interactive. They were forced to pretty much bring, they had the right to appeal, and they ended up bringing it to the courts. And if that's the case, that might mean that the crew, the original crew of GTA 6, the ones that were fired and who wanted the union, actually might be back on board, might be part of this whole team again. And if they're on the team again and they're pretty much union back, do you think that truly can bring a possibility of a delayed game? Because at this point, how much of a say do they have in this game? And could they say, well, I don't like this idea, I want to change this up? So Real Tech Geek says X99 DDR3 motherboards with Xeon E5 2697 version 3E5. 2000. This is all RAM here. Turbo Boost Unlock Rebar TPM 2.0. Though the reliability is very questionable. Still got to get one. So I'm still not buying a PS5 Pro to play a game. LOL. $100 base game is going to be like $200 plus for the digital deluxe. Can you imagine? So Egyptian says, I truly don't understand why it's taken so long to release. And the reason being is because the developers who are currently behind it, they are, of course, doing their best to try to make the timing. You can imagine just how demanding this game is going to be. It looks gigantic. I mean, just take a look at it. Look how wonderful the city actually looks. So if you actually are going to try to create this simulation, it has to be much better than even GTA 5, of course. And people are expecting that. They want to see almost like a real life simulation of perfection. And the problem is, even if it doesn't have any of that, like if it's not just, people will certainly pick this apart. I feel like it's not going to reach the precedence of what people do expect out of the game, but the details in it, they seem that they've worked very hard on it. So hopefully it does end up as an excellent game. But what I'm also curious about too is that, of course, you're going to hear people out there that do want to get the upgraded PS5, for example. You have some people that do want to get the PS5 Pro in order to be able to play something like GTA 6. Now, you can go ahead and do that. Of course, that's always nice. It's always better to have a better performing device, just like a GPU when it comes to your PC. You want to have a better GPU to perform a certain game, especially if it's very demanding. So when it comes to GTA 6, I think many people don't realize that it also still has to perform even on the base PS5. It still has to perform on a Xbox Series S. And does that truly bring it down to a different level of when it comes to their graphics? I'm sure there's going to be a setting in there to where you can set it to pretty much performance, and then there's going to be a setting for quality. And most people are going to try to push for the quality. And when it comes to GTA 6, more than likely they'll try to take advantage of the whole PSSR. And if that's the case, if it does come to say PC, where would the advantage truly be? Would it be in AMD because then you can have FSR4, or would the advantage be in NVIDIA regardless? So, and Ellis, good morning. Great to see you. Yes, I'm glad that the whole fam's here. So, um, but when it comes out to PC, for example, more than likely, how developed is it going to be? Is NVIDIA going to be part of the project? Just imagine how different it would look compared to PSSR. Now, when you compare this spectrum here, when you compare the NVIDIA and AMD when it comes to their technologies, you have FSR4, and then you have DLSS 4.5. Could GTA 6 be the first one of the first games that comes to NVIDIA's hands to where they can actually release the LSS 5? Now, if they do that, could you imagine how different it would look? How uh, improved would the game look if they had the LSS 5 and they had the whole neural rendering? Would it be? It would feel almost like a completely different game at that point. So Takuma says, I think Rockstar Games should make a collaboration with a studio that is known for PC ports. Yes, I hope that they do. They did pretty good when it came to GTA 5. I remember at first it had quite a little bit of its problems, but they were able to kind of iron them out in the beginning. But when it comes to GTA 6, hopefully they do that. Of course, there's some memes out there if you guys didn't see it, where if PC gamers get their hands on it, and the reason why Rockstar doesn't want to present it to like a PC gamer is because they have mods, like they have Godzilla walking through the bay of Vice City. But that would but again, that's the PC community. We certainly love to have fun when it comes to our games and on that side of the coin. But for those who are curious about this whole AMD, about the whole pricing going up, this is again, but all because of the RAM issues. They're planning to push up to 10 to 15%. Nvidia is expected to continue with the current price trends. And somebody actually brought up a great point in here that the reason why they would want to continue on the current price trends is because they do plan on eventually raising the prices, not raising the prices on Nvidia, but when they do release the whole 50 Super Series, then they have a much more clear inventory. But if you truly imagine if a 9070 XT matches up with, say, a 5070 Ti and they match up in pricing, what do you think? What do you think most people will end up going for if they're pretty much close to the same price point? Especially if the 9070 XT is only, say, like $100 away from a 5070 Ti. Which one would you truly choose? So, what's up, Wasabi? I'm doing great. Rugal, great to see you. But honestly, who would choose if the price was pretty much at neck and neck? Who would honestly choose to go AMD? AMD is great. They have great GPUs. And the reason why they're great is because they have great price to performance. But if they're going almost near neck and neck when it comes to NVIDIA, which one would you go with? So I'm going to throw that as a poll out there for everybody. And you can choose to pick out you can choose to pick out in the poll. I know some people truly hate Nvidia for how they are and how they feel that they're anti-consumer, but I'll let the people decide here. So, in your opinion here, would you choose between? So, I'm going to make this a multiple choice here, uh, and I will ask if the price point is close. If the price point for AMD is close to NVIDIA, what would you choose? And then I'm going to put RX 9070 XT or a RTX 5070 Ti. So feel free to make a vote. In order for you to vote, you just put 1 or 2, and you let me know what you guys think. Because honestly, I feel like this is probably an easy vote here for many people. If they're that close to each other, which one would you go? So for anyone that's unfamiliar with the polls, to vote, you just put one or two. Um, yes, I figured Hidden Bull would definitely go with the RTX 5070 Ti. What's up, Fred Doina? Duh. Rockstar Games should be working with Double 11 Studios to bring the port of GTA 6 for PC, just like they did for Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, great point. Yeah, most people will go with the RTX 5070 Ti without question. And then, especially if they do come out, say, with DLSS 4.5 and then Vice City and not Vice. Now I'm thinking of GTA back then. If GTA 6 ends up dropping and the RTX 5070 Ti might be the better choice. Did you watch the latest hardware unbox video? He made some great points about the current state of. No, I did not. Uh, I will look it up. I am curious. Nah, I would go with the RX. Oh, really? That's an interesting choice. So Real Tech Geek says, nah, I would go with the RX 9070 XT. I would love to hear the reasoning, the reason why you would go with the RX 9070 XT. Is it because the way Nvidia treats their customers? Two, I already own the 9070 XT. Nice, but that's a stupid 12-volt high power port. Oh, and the problem is some of the 9070 XTs do have them. Like if you look at this, like the Sapphire Nitro Plus, they do have it. They have the 12-volt high power port. There's one ASRock RX 9070 XT. It's one of the higher models. It also features the 12-volt high power port. And I believe some of the XFX also feature it. I own the RX 7900 XTX Sapphire Nitro Plus. Nice. So you're probably really excited that they're going to end up dropping FSR 4s soon. That's going to be within the next month. So anybody that does have a 7000 series card by AMD, do expect that they will have FSR 4 within then. And now, of course, they do have it through GitHub. Like you could actually, like, technically get it now if you wanted to, but of course, it's not perfected, and it does work decently. Of course, it does take a major hit if it comes to the whole frame side, but I would imagine AMD would refine it just much better than that. So hope GTA 6 comes to PC after 1690 release. More than likely it will. Hey, it might come out at the same time. That would piss off console people so much if that did happen. I have the Gigabyte models with the 24. Oh, okay. Nice. I owned several high-end GPUs from both brands and still have plenty of issues that are annoying. Yeah. Both have their caveats. Video cards reported that the Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 97. They denied it. That's crazy. The crazy thing about that whole Sapphire Nitro, it's mostly because if you use their adapter. If you notice, Unico Hardware actually brought it up before, and he mentioned that it uses like every burned case of the Sapphire. I noticed that it was always the blue tip connector. So if that blue tip connector that you use from Sapphire, I wouldn't suggest to use it. I would suggest just using the direct 12-volt high power port from a ATX 3.1 PSU. So I was trying to make the same choice a couple months ago, and I just saved my money and got the 5080. Glad I did. It's a great card that gets a lot of hate. And I gotta say, I do pretty much agree with that, especially because Nvidia did release it originally at a fair price point. When they first did release the card, it was at $1,000 compared to what the RTX 4080 released at, which was at $1,300. Now, of course, a lot of the hate doesn't come from the GPU itself, but more so that it just doesn't contain the VRAM that most people are looking for. Especially today's age, they feel like 16 gigabytes should be no longer just like base. Like if you're buying an RTX 5080, you should at least get 24 gigabytes. And that's what most people were looking for, or at least 20. They looked for some sort of increment change when it came to the VRAM. So T Dunn says, I think that games with starting to use the LSS and leave AMD out in the cold are always released AMD drivers after NVIDIA drivers are released. Like the old days. Yeah, they try to. There's a few companies and a few games that once NVIDIA gets their hands on it, or that they're not too bad. Like actually, when it comes to it, it's believe it or not, when it comes to AMD, like when it comes to their AMD games, have you noticed that they'll truly optimize it for AMD and they won't like optimize it at all for NVIDIA? Like for example, if you guys remember Black Ops, it was Black Ops 6. That was kind of a mess actually. The 9070 XT is an amazing card for sure. Nvidia has a bit of grip on their features, CUDA, ray tracing, DLSS, and that CUDA is like a big one of the largest driving factors of why Nvidia is so great. Especially for those who want to use their GPU more for than just gaming. You want to be able to use it for editing. You want to be able to use it for streaming. NVIDIA is the right choice for that. So, um, agreed, sir. So I've been testing FSR 4 on the 7900 XTX. Like in Cyberpunk 2077, it's fantastic in performance mode with ray tracing and 1440p ultra wide. RDNA 2, it's really good, but it's still very heavy on my RX 6800 XT. Yeah, I would imagine. I feel like a lot of these RX 6000 series cards are the ones suffering the most. I have a friend of mine that he has the RX 6700 XT, and a lot of his games are starting to show the wear, like after having this card for so long. So now he's more averaging like around like 35 to 40 frames on heavy intense GPU demanding games. So Real Tech says, I love Sapphire Nitro RX 9070 XT. I love it too. It's honestly one of my favorite designs when it comes to it. And same when it comes to, I gotta say, Power Color is actually pretty decent too. Like when it comes to the Reaper, but XFX, one of the most underrated uh, uh, GPU brands out there that you can truly get when it comes to AMD. I think they also make great cards too. Fredo's, you love the CUDA cores. That made one for the RX 9060 XT 16 gigabytes just not too easy to get, and can be way overpriced like the $600. So Diesel says, I just got the Zotac 58. It's a good card. Zotac may get slammed with different hate because it's just not like a big brand such as Asus or Gigabyte or any of the large companies, but Zotac's actually very decent. So / build says, I appreciate your later Saturday stream here to support. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, a lot of people certainly love this time. I'm trying to look out for my West Coast people out there because I know if I stream at 8 in the morning on the East Coast, it's not a fun time to watch the stream. I know some of you guys are willing to wake up, and I certainly do appreciate you guys coming in even then. But I wanted to make sure to push a later time so everybody can be able to enjoy the stream thoroughly. So, Real Tech Geek says, yeah, I thought about the XFX Mercury Air overclock RX 9070 XT too. It's very beautiful, 3100 megahertz. So, if you guys are curious about the Mercury Air, let's go ahead. I'll show you what it looks like. We're going to go take a look at the GPUs here, and I'll turn off the poll because the majority of the people certainly did vote for NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is the winner of that poll there. So let's go ahead and go down and take a look at some RX 9000 series cards here. And if you take a look here, we're going to take a look at XFX, and see they have a really nice design. I like the white. This one's a XT 9060 XT. Of course, the Swift triple. And here's the Mercury. So the Mercury looks like this. Now this is the 9060. I bet they don't have any of the 9070 XT figures. We could always go into Amazon and take a look for it, but it looks similar to this. This is a really nice card though. Take a look at that. XFX always had those unique designs. And it's crazy because anytime I look at XFX, I always think of back then. Like, especially for those who had NVIDIA cards back when they used to make it. 1030 Boston here. Oh, okay, awesome. If I could trade my 48 Super for a decent good GPU, I would get some cash on top of it. And yeah, great, because then maybe I can get even yeah, exactly. You probably could. That would make sense. You would trade it in to get a RTX 5070 Ti at that point. So, and the only reason I want to get the 5070 Ti, having fun with the Arnie. Oh, are you? Let me go back on Ford real quick. Are you messing with any LLMs now? As of recent days. So the only reason I want to get 5070 Ti is that I want to change from a 16 to 32 bus. Oh, okay. So that's the main reason. I mean, if you do change it over, it is a decent reason because you get better bandwidth, and it seems like that's what you're trying to cover here. So majority is the understatement. It's literally 100. I don't understand why AMD is releasing the Radeon 9070 GR. It's already on sale, guys. In fact, I'll show you guys real quick. If we go on Amazon, you would laugh because it's already on sale. It was truly a waste of a launch. Really out of touch here. Um, Here you go. Gigabytes GRE 9070 is $550. And I gotta say, that is just out of touch. $550. Originally, it was supposed to slate at $600. So that just gives you indication of just like where AMD's head's at. Like, what are they thinking? They're truly ignoring the whole consumer side. And somebody actually brought up a great point here. And the reason why they didn't really bring up FSR4 was because they're so hyper focused when it comes to AI, that they're so hyper focused to the point where they kind of ignore the needs of the consumers of what we want when it comes to gaming. That they're so focused on it that they are just looking at what they did in the past and pretty much reproducing it. That they're not truly have any focus on us to where they're hearing us out. And hopefully that will end up changing soon. But you know how quick and all these companies, whether it's AMD, whether it's Nvidia, or whether if it's any of the top brands out there, how quick they would want to hear us out, especially if this whole AI bubble ends up popping. So forward slash says Quinn 70. Oh, nice. Uh, Bandwidth, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Do you think that I could bring my 4080 to a Micro Center? Oh yeah, absolutely. They'll do it. If Micro Center for some reason doesn't take your trade-in, certainly you can go to Newegg. Newegg does trade-ins as well. They have a GPU trade-in program. Let me look it up actually. Newegg. And I could Newegg GPU trade-ins. They actually have a page for it, and they kind of give you an idea. So if you are looking to trade it in, this is the place you can go. And this is for anyone that does want to trade in their cards. I'll send it out there for anyone that is curious, especially if you are thinking of trading in your card. This would be actually a great way to do so. So I'll send it out there. So build basically he's like DDR5 and this type of stuff. I'm over here with 4080 from the hey 4080 is still a great card. As long as if it's performing. They said the price of water is just gonna what they really say that? I gotta look that up now. GRE the price of water going up. GRE cards are basically downgrades made for the Chinese market. I think that's only the reason why they released it globally is that they want to be able to release a product that is quarter to the stock. Yeah, I kind of I get that idea. I'm pretty much on the same page with you, Rugal, when it comes to it. It makes sense to do it for the Chinese market, but then again, you already know how that market is because if they want to increase the RAM, the VRAM, they will. They will modify it. So I've been wanting the Asus Noctua 4080 for a while. The 4080 version. Yeah, that would be nice to get your hands on it. That's at this point, it's probably going to be very tough to get. Did you have any luck finding any? So that's why I like tuning into your streams, bro, because you're super smart and thank you. Let me go back over here. We'll go over to the whole micro center here and see if there's any deals going on. Of course, the majority of the deals are going to end up on Monday coming up, which is going to be on the 22nd. So make sure you tune in for that, which is going to be the Amazon deals for Prime Day. And then also we do have the whole fantastic tech that's going to come up, which is they'll probably advertise it right on the page here, and they didn't yet, but here it is actually. Yep, June 22nd at 12 a.m. Pacific time it starts. So as soon as it does, I will start posting up the deals. Make sure to pay close attention. I will have a couple videos on it. We can go live on some of them. Um, the Noctua 4080 is 2K new on eBay. Right? What? That makes no sense. The 5080, because didn't they have a 4090 back then? The Noctua for it, if I'm not mistaken. Believe they had that version. Is it water cooled? Which one? Which is water cooled? Uh, which is crazy because the dang Noctua, the Noctua Linus Tech Tip screwdriver is one. What? Is it really? That's crazy. That is insane. Can you imagine spending $1,000 for a screwdriver? Man, talk about like top tier tools. Maybe the reason why they charge so much is because it's so silent. Like you don't even hear the screw actually turning when you're using the screwdriver. Is that the reason? That's pretty wild though. I would imagine it was a limited run too. Let's see if they have anything like kind of posted here. Let's see if they got any. Not yet. Nothing out yet. But I will certainly reach out and look for the deals as soon as I can here. Yeah, I heard. I remember, in fact, LSG can tell you. I remember LSG. He said when he was over at CES, he was able to. He said Linus was actually giving out the screwdrivers, but of course it was in the Noctua version. Or not really? God, I because remember just last year, roughly about 8 months ago. Yeah, 8 months ago. Uh, we ended up getting the RTX 5080, the Noctua version, for about what was it? 16? I think it was 1600. And of course, it seemed expensive at the time, but compared to what it is today, mentally. By the way, what's your opinion on the Intel mobile gaming CPU that they tease? You mean Panther Lake? Panther Lake, I think, is an excellent mobile CPU. I think it's going to do great. I'm actually really excited. I'm just not excited for the pricing, of course, when it comes to the MSIs. When MSI is coming on with their handheld, I think it's going to be a great device. It's going to be practically like a Ryzen Z2 Extreme, just like an up version. It's going to almost seem like a Z3 Extreme at this point. But again, who knows like how far the Z3 Extreme will push it. But it's going to be the MSI. I think it's the MSI Claw A8 Plus. AI. Think they had to add the word AI in there, but it's in there. Along with Acer, they came out with their version, which is the Atlas 8. I just wonder what the pricing is going to be compared to Acer's and MSI's, because MSI's is going to be as high as about $1,800. I don't know if they partnered with Ace Tech. Yes, they did. If oh, you mean for the GPU? I was thinking of the actual CPU cooler. They do have a CPU cooler that Noctua does have, but that one just recently came out. But that one's Ace Tech. I believe that they use the version 8 it is when it comes to it. My friend who works with at part-time job at Lowe's showed me a hammer. It's made of titanium that his brother wants for his brother. What? That's insane. $485 at Lowe's for a hammer. Who would spend $485 on a hammer? Now, I know tools can be expensive, but that is wild, especially at Lowe's. It's the oh yeah, absolutely it'd be insane. Cheaper than the 10 millimeter socket from the tools truck. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because at that point, they'll have you locked in on a payment plan. And anybody that shopped for tools on truck, like especially for tools such as like Mac tools, or like if you shop that like Snap on, they're expensive. Uh, oh, okay, okay. It isn't at Lowe's. I was gonna say if it's at Lowe's, that's wild. Lowe's is really pushing the limits there. Noctua and is Tech work together so that way they bring up to yes. Yes, they did. Definitely excited to see how that's going to be. Um, of course, when we do this upcoming PC build, uh, we do have some very interesting parts, which I gotta say will be interesting. I'll announce more next week for sure. I just want to get in contact with a couple of brands. Central Computer will have the AIOs. Oh, that's awesome. Hopefully, you get your hands on it. I know most people out there, they have three different models. Let's go on Noctua's website actually real quick. Noctua AIO. I think it's LC1. LC1. Yes, the LC1. Here it is. So this is it. They have a 360 millimeter. They have a 240 millimeter for those who are using more of a compact case. They also do have a 420 millimeter AIO as well for those who have a much larger Takuma with the 420s. So, uh, I then bought it in old Von Framing hammer when I was a kid. One handle at a time, probably spent 60 bucks on it. And so that's pretty wild. That's insane. I can't imagine having a hammer that long if you're in the Bay. Oh yeah. Well, 480 for a hammer is pretty expensive, but here in Switzerland, I have very expensive tools for my plumbing company. Yeah, but imagine. I can tools can get very expensive, especially when you invest in them. I have Snap-on. Oh, nice, nice. It's insane how much they can charge like just for something simple as a ratchet. Lifetime warranty. That's a good thing. You can step onto the truck and be able to swap it out there at any time. So when it comes to Noctua's AIO, they use, here it is, the proven Esatec MF version 2 platform. The NLPNA1 pump noise absorber. This is pretty dope, like how you see like once they take it apart, what's in it. And they have a multi-socket mounting system. So it uses secure firm, and which enables an easy transition from air to water cooling. So it includes Torx. So it's Torx based. Actually, that's pretty wild. So you can't just use like a flathead. This is almost like a European car now. You got to use the Allen keys, right? So no, they teased Panther Lake CPUs for handheld. It's called the G3 Extreme. The G3 Extreme. They have the standard G3 and the G3 Extreme. Snap-on is the way overpriced for what you get. Festool will drain the bank account. You know what's insane? Like I know their toolboxes are really expensive, right, guys? Like from what I heard, like people spent like $20,000 on a toolbox. That lifetime warranty isn't guaranteed anymore. Worked with many heavy diesel mechanics over the year who hate. You know, the crazy thing is they were based in the US and then they ended up didn't they I don't know how much different it is because it's been a while since I looked at these type of tools, but I remember they were very focused on being crafted in the US. And then they ended up pretty much outsourcing. Is that true that they outsource like a lot of their tools now? So I work with Geberit. Their tools are superior with plumbing, but some of their tools can go up to 4,000. Oh, really? That's crazy. My old Subaru's tech box was 80,000. What? It had to have a fridge. For all that, you have to have a fridge. If that's that's pretty funny. I've never had that issue. I've replaced ratchets. Oh, nice. You got a yeah. Now you got your own crew now. You got the whole Subaru crew. uh so let's go down here. So here is the pump noise absorber, and this is apparently the soundproofing that they add to the pump because that's one of the big issues when it comes to AIOs. Some people certainly do complain about that. Like certain AIOs do whine. You'll hear the pump actually whining, and you'll notice when the pump is on, especially at 100%. So can you imagine? Especially with you have Noctua, and you also do have Ace Tech working together on this AIO, you can imagine how much more quiet it's going to be compared to many. Now, if I were to compare pumps, I can say like I know Corsair's pumps are actually pretty silent. They're probably one of the more silent ones that I've worked with. So I'm curious to hear how this will actually end up turning out for the LC1. So Snap-on is made in the US and China. Oh, okay, okay. So they did change over because they used to. I remember they used to pretty much have it like in their tools at that point. When you get Milwaukee, just watch out that you get that you get made in USA tools. So a Swedish hardware site tested the Noctua AIO, and it was a hottie with the fan on the pump and then without. Then they asked Noctua about the and about it, and Noctua said that they will come back with it sweet. Oh, really? That's interesting. I paid 3 points. Oh, really? 36. Well, that at least that's way cheaper than $80,000. That's like a car right there. One left Subaru for a BMW, but I'm eyeing that new STI hard. Oh man, so they came out with a new STI now. Because I did know that they Subaru did want to drop their whole name, like when it came to the Impreza. So they dropped the Impreza for just to focus onto the whole WRX line. So so they're coming back out with the STIs now. We're just one Noctua motherboard. It would be so nice. I would love that to happen. If they just would get involved a bit more in the hardware side, could you imagine? Would you? You know, that's a great question. Actually, I'm gonna throw that up there for you guys. For everyone out there, that does like Noctua's products, or maybe you're just getting into their products. Would you purchase Noctua PC hardware? Now, when I talk about PC hardware, of course, I'm talking about motherboards, and they came out with yeah, just mostly because they're pretty much in now. They have AIOs, um, mostly just motherboards, I guess. Just imagine motherboards and GPUs if they would just focus on them and not combined with everybody else. But feel free to vote. Would you go for a Noctua motherboard or a GPU that's just strictly focused on them and not? I know. Could you imagine that? What's in the box in the back? Which let me see. Let me see what you guys see. And the in the back, that's all PC tools. You mean that box? It's all like more like PC hardware and tools and but it's everything that's and PC fans and wires and that kind of stuff. All PC related. Wow, so you got a good mix. You got yes and no. Oh, I got my dog wanting to go out. There you go, buddy. Wow, that's an interesting mix. So you got yes and no's. I'm guessing the no's are because some of you guys are not a big fan of the color scheme. That's what I would assume, right? Yeah, BMW dealers are charging like 200. What? Yeah, that's insane. And that's truly crazy. 3-year free oil changes and air and cabin filters, but always buy BMW used on CPO. All maintenance is included, max 125. And oh wow. So they really became solid. No, Takuma wasn't kidding. I remember Takuma actually brought this up that BMW actually came a long way. That they've actually improved quite a bit there. Imagine a brown. I know. Can you imagine that? A brown Noctua X870E motherboard. That would be very interesting. I think so. I know Wasabi would hate it if it's like a. Can you imagine like going like a all wood build, like kind of like this? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if they ended up like I'm pretty sure if they ended up doing that. I have to go to the gallery here. That's where I gotta go. Let me see. There you go. You see how good that actually looks on Gigabyte's board here on the arrow, like where they have the arrow wood. That kind of makes me want to try to get something like that going. I like that. I kind of like that. And then if you get the case, that's pretty much wood. I'll find B7 oil changes would be like 1400. Oh really? Damn. Tool. Okay. So the Lee actually has their version, like of their case, that would actually go good with this. I think it's the which case is that again? Is it the I'm trying to think. Is it the 011 where they came out with like a blue green one? And I know Antec has theirs. I'm scared to mount a Noctua 5080 like that. It's a beefy. Yeah, it's the biggest. I gotta say, it's quite large, massive. It nearly almost didn't fit. Like I would have to actually change out the placement, like my the PC for the Threadripper, because currently that's actually what I'm using on this build, for the whole streaming side and for one I use for editing. But yeah, it's quite crazy. It's probably like that close, and if you guys got to see it, you got to see how close it was, like pretty much to the fans. But it's right there. Like I just have like probably like roughly about like maybe 2 or 3 centimeters like away from it, or not centimeter millimeters, I should say. It's much more closer than that. I barely have 2 fingers clearance from the 5080 to the front of the Fractal North XL box. It's freaking huge. Wow. The Noctua X870E LC1 E12 motherboard. Yeah, you know the way it can work too is if they the way it can work is if their motherboard would have like specific fitment for their cooler. And if it does have that specific fitment for that cooler, and it just kind of like clicks in, just imagine if it just locks in. How amazing that would be. That would be a great feature. If they did something like that, I think that would cause a lot of attraction to a full Noctua build then. So, but yeah, I do like the idea. Maybe they will start to. I wouldn't be surprised if they start thinking about it. Take my money, I would buy that rig immediately. Yeah, I think a lot. I think it's one of those underrated ones. I know to appease like some of the people out there that don't like the coloring, or the colors, I should say, is to come out with like a black version and also the Noctua brown. I think that would end up doing really well if they choose to go that direction. But uh but yeah, I think this is actually going to be a decent cooler. I'm just really curious how the noise level is going to be. I bet the cooling's excellent because with the RTX 5080, Noctua, it's been excellent on its part. Imagine ASUS comes out with a special motherboard with, yeah, it 100% could be. I can truly see that happening. Especially if this does well. Um, Even the pricing I feel like is really fair on it. I think they're starting off at like for the 360, I think it's 219 if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that. We'll go to Amazon real quick to see it. I don't think they have it quite yet. Let me see. Amazon. Nah, I've typed in Amazon. Not LC1. There we go. 250. Okay, so the 240 is 220. This one's 250. So this is the coloring for it right here. For those who are curious. So the board would have to build in VRM. Yeah, it'll be great. I already did the Antec Flux and Octa Edition case. It cools nice. It does it silent and it supports up to 455 millimeter GPUs, which they might not exist now, but they will come one day, and that's the day I won't have to bother with the torture of changing cases. That's true. Um, and that gives you a bit more flexibility in that case. Like if you wanted to be able to swap out your AIO, where you want to be able to not your AIO, your GPU with ease and not have to worry about size. Because that was really truly a big issue, especially back when it came to the RTX 40 series. If you guys remember, especially the RTX 4090. At first, it was more of the width because the cable, the new 12-volt high power port. Do you guys remember that? Because if you close the case, that the cable would end up bending, and that was the original idea why the 12-volt high power, or the original hypothesis of why it would end up burning, because it would, of course, create resistance because it would end up pulling the adapter away from the actual GPU. But it seemed like it wasn't every case that was like that, and it was actually the port itself. But again, that's the reason why they came out with those like wider cases instead of like more taller cases. Is because GPUs at first were getting wider, and now they're also getting now more a little bit more height to it now, as it is. So I think when it comes to these new GPUs, when they do end up coming out, I'm really truly curious, especially if NVIDIA does focus on this whole neural rendering. When it comes to DLSS 5, it's going to have to be bigger. Again, because the DLSS 5 originally ran onto two GPUs, two RTX 5090s. So if you're going to have a native GPU that's able to do so, you're going to need a GPU that's capable of neural rendering and being able to have the quick enough memory in there. Of course, the current memory that they do have now, the 3 gigabytes per chip, will certainly help it if they do it this way, which you can see a bit more expanded memory, and we're definitely going to get a taste of that if they choose to end up coming with a 50 Super Series. So, yeah, for the most part, I think it will end up happening eventually. I don't think we're going to see it till 2027 here. Let's go over to Micro Center here. Of course, if you guys do have any questions about like what I was talking about, the whole GTA 6, if you guys are curious, feel free to ask questions. I will certainly answer them. But as of now, just kind of brief over it real quick for anyone that is just coming in and just curious about the stream. So when I was talking about the whole GTA 6, the whole controversy that's going on right now, of course, it seems minuscule when it comes to the gator counting teeth. Again, not everybody knows exactly how much teeth a gator has, including many people, even here in Florida, they're not going to tell you exactly how much teeth a gator does have. But anyway, um, somebody pointed that, somebody actually ended up pointing that out. And they said that this gator had only 60 teeth. And now that just gives you an idea to show you how much demand that there is when it comes to this game, what people are certainly expecting, and how we may not ever, or GTA 6 may never reach that expectation that people truly want, which is a simulation practically of true life, of real life. Um, so that, again, in theory, would be pretty ridiculous as it is, to count as the gator's teeth in a game. And of course, one other issue that many people are certainly worried about when it comes to GTA 6 is that the release date had magically disappeared. It's no longer on the website. I think that's more of the bigger issue, because of this whole union issue that's currently happening with Take Two Interactive. where you do have the ex-employees actually taking Take Two Interactive to court that they have the right to appeal for their job because they got fired for trying to gather a union, and of course, something like that is going to be illegal. So, unfortunately, hopefully, there isn't a large delay in that case because if it is, the I don't know what their positions are. These employees who got fired, but who knows? They could be lead designers of this GTA 6, and they might just say like, "Hey, I don't like this," and then cause a delay. Maybe they'll do it on purpose because in spite of Take Two of firing them. So, how much is DDR5 this week? Great question. I can say that the bundles have actually increased, but we will definitely take a look. Let's and you know what we call that session? The RAM. So anyway, the Chinese have made the 48 gigabyte 4090 memory mods. I'm surprised that no one has already 2 gigabyte chips for the 3 gigabyte to get the 24. Apparently, it's not sure that straightforward. Oh, really? I thought it would be a bit more straightforward because I would think they were pretty much like the same size. That's pretty wild, actually. So some might complain about the color, but I find it a nice change of pace. Where the world is about 99% of all PC parts of color either. I think that's a big problem. There's actually somebody else that actually does agree with you. And Ellis, I believe, does agree with that too as well. Doesn't agree with the whole RGB, or the beautiful RGB colors, the ones that give you the extra FPS. So, let's go ahead. Let's go take a look at the RAM right now. So, let's see how the pricing is going to be. So, uh, for DDR5, actually, it's holding not too bad right now, as of now. Of course, you have SK Hynix, you got MSI, you got all these companies that are certainly worried about the memory price hike that's coming up. Hopefully, it doesn't come up, and that it never happens, and hopefully it ends up decreasing. Of course, that's a unrealistic reality. So don't worry, scarcity is where innovation thrives. That is true. That is a that you know what? That is true. I love that. Don't worry, scarcity is where innovation thrives. Expect to see some wild mods in the coming 24 months. Actually, I do like that a lot. Indeed, I still build my system in 20-year-old cases. I avoid glass and RGBs like uh yeah, I remember I was building the PC. I was building one of the PCs. And I hate to say it, but unfortunately, some of the brands, like, of course, when they send them in, it's like, of course, we got no control over the RGBs, so to say. But I'm going to try to do my best to see if we can do more builds where it's going to be less RGB. Just that was the whole point of Project Ninja. We wanted to do a full PC build where it was going to be a non-RGB and just straight up silent. The most important thing, especially when gaming, something that's whisper quiet. So Rugal says 48 gigabytes, 4090. So you mean ADA? Yeah, pretty much 6,000 with proper hardware virtualization and non ECC RAM. Yeah, so pretty much at that point, yes, exactly. So at least Crucial it's holding. The pricing is pretty fair when it comes to Crucial, 370. The RAM's decent, but of course, when it comes to overclocking, or if you're looking to do that or tweaking, it's a bit more limited compared to SK Hynix. SK Hynix's DRAM. If you do end up getting SK Hynix DRAM, you get a bit more flexibility when it comes to that. Now you do have the G Skill, which is SK. Corsair's also SK. And Crucial, as you know, is Micron. Kingston, here goes a wonderful kit, only for $4,600. I'm sure everybody is looking to get it. So it seems that for the vote, most people would not get the Noctua PC hardware, unfortunately. So, but some people will. Again, I think it's one of those things where it would probably take a little bit of time for people to adapt. And unfortunately, we're in the age where we're still in that age where people are still very interested into adjusting their RGBs. So I will throw up another poll in a bit. Now, let's see. So the price of RAM seems pretty decent for the most part. You could get it for under $400. I remember, um, actually Bull actually mentioned this to me. Hidden Bull mentioned this, that Club's actually not that bad. So you got the Club Fit for $370, and it is CL30, so it is fast enough even for AMD RAM kits for actual North variants without anything. Yeah, I and we're gonna start looking. We will start to do some of those builds out there, especially for those who don't really want too many RGBs, especially if you do have your PC in a specific area, like if you have it in your bedroom. I don't think anybody would appreciate the wake command when your PC turns on and all the RGBs start flashing you awake, and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on? And it's your PC waking you up. So, um, let's go down here. Let's go and take a look at some of their bundles here. AMD Intel bundles. Oh, really? Their site's going to act like this right now. All right, so let me try doing this then. Maybe it's not going to be under top deals because they probably adjusted the prices. That's why they're unable to find it. Um, but yes, the pricing has gone up when it came to Micro Center, unfortunately. Still decent deals, but that's a bit scary when you see Micro Center start to raise their prices because actually, these kits, like this was actually a $400 kit. This was actually a $650 kit, and this was actually a $670 kit, roughly about. But they did end up raising their prices here. Um, this is where you truly know. Here they offer, if you guys remember, this was like one of the best deals that they had, which was the 7500 X3D. And it came with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it came with the micro ATX board. Nothing crazy. They even changed it out. It's an ASRock B850M now. Was it always had? I thought they had. I thought it was an ASUS board for some reason. But anyway, um, they had this kit for $300. Now they have two separate kits to make it seem like it's somewhat of a good deal. So you got the bundle where you got the motherboard and the actual CPU, but that's $250. And now if you want the RAM with it, it's $350. So they raise it a decent $50. So of course, that's your indicator right there because it's without the RAM. That lets you know that it's truly the RAM that's really truly doing the upticking when it comes to the pricing. For that's the unfortunate problem that we have right now. It seems that RAM is going to be the pricing factor, especially with these upcoming months. Now, I really hope that history doesn't repeat itself because the case is, if you guys remember accurately here, back in October 2025 is when we started seeing the price upticking of RAM, and it was like a volatile stock practically. So at first it went up like maybe roughly about $100. And of course, naturally people are going to be like, no, I'm not going to pay extra $100. I'll just wait for the pricing to drop back down. And then they went up another like $300. And then the pricing just never seemed to drop since then, especially for those who waited for the whole Black Friday. People swore up and down that Black Friday was going to be the day that they were going to adjust the pricing for the RAM and that it was going to be stabilized at the regular normal pricing. And instead, it didn't drop at all. They didn't have any sales for the RAM on Black Friday. So, and it kind of reminds me too of they also have Prime Day 2 in October as well. So even then, they didn't even adjust pricing then. So, um, it's now we're going into Amazon Prime week, right? So what I'm afraid of is like after Prime week and after Fantastic Tech will be the pretty much the indicator of it saying, okay, you have every right to start raising prices now. And more than likely, if that does happen, of course that's going to be very disappointing if that's the case. Let's hope that does not happen, but hopefully the pricing does not adjust then. JCino, what's going up? What's up, JCino? Going up. Oh, what a morning. Let me get some refresh some water into me. But anyway, uh, it seems that the pricing has gone up, at least $50 when it comes to the kits. And I'm really curious to see how it's going to adjust after this whole Amazon Prime Day week and this whole Fantastic Attack and all these sales, because usually that's when they start putting prices up because they're like, okay, you had your chance to get it then. We're if you didn't get it, we're sorry about that. We're gonna have to raise the pricing. I do. I do need some coffee. Now that's better. Now I got some hydration into my vocals now. Good news. I ended up going with the WindForce 5080 over to Astral. Oh, nice. Just install. Oh, so how'd you like it? That did you get to use it so far? What's your thoughts of it? How do you like it? Oh, so anybody that's coming in, you're probably, if you haven't seen it, make sure to join in on Discord. You can click the link. It's free for anybody to join in. And I do want to tell everybody out there, I do thank everyone to make this possible. We're over 200 members on Discord. Mike, what's going on? A cup of a cup of yes. There's nothing like it. JC now. Yes, yes. It's pretty sound, right? I gotta say, when it comes to Gigabyte's GPUs, they're actually really good. They're excellent when it comes to the coil whine. Like, you don't truly hear from their GPUs. So that's one thing I certainly do appreciate from them. Asus is pretty decent as well. Of course, the higher the model, the better. If you get the lower models, they tend to then Asus will have some sort of coil whine to them. And same with MSI. MSI is the same way. If you get the lower model, it's a bit more coil whine, then the higher ones have less coil whine. But of course, like anything else, you may first hear it at first because it's trying to take the air out of the actual thermal gel, and then once it does, it'll just kind of like settle, and then you'll hear less coil whine because of it. But it was only, oh really? That's a awesome deal actually. And ironically, we're on Micro Center now. So Jason, so I went for a Zotac 5080s. Oh, nice. Again, Zotac's one of those underrated brands. It truly is. Hey V, what's up? Let me know. Did you get those Lena Lee fans in? I know you've been waiting for those. I hope you got them in. I was surprised that Amazon had the 5-pack of Micro Center. You know, oh, really cheaper than Micro Center. You know, the ironic thing is, if anybody doesn't have a Micro Center near them, believe it or not, Amazon does have a Micro Center store. So if you look here, and click here, that they have an inland store and they have a Micro Center store. But I'm trying to find their regular Micro Center store. So you can get their bundles still on Amazon. So they do. So for those who don't have a Micro Center near them, they do have it available on Amazon. Now, of course, the price is going to be a little bit different. Like, let's see. They had the 265K combos. So some of the combos are going to be a little bit different here. Because I was trying to find the 270K bundles, which I would highly recommend. Maybe the upcoming build. I'm still having a tough time to decide. You guys let me know. I'll put up a poll in a bit actually about it. So I had super high coil whine on my 9070 XT Elite from Gigabytes, so I had to change the order of the. Oh, okay, really? It's coming. Yes, please do. That's funny. I know you're waiting for that. I know you can't wait to hook it up. So I'm gonna throw out a poll actually. So feel free to vote for this upcoming build. Let me see right here. For this upcoming build, should we go with what type of processor? Should we go with Intel or AMD? I'm curious. I'm curious what the people will vote. So what type of processor should we go for this upcoming build? Intel or AMD? So actually, let me change that up. There you go. Perfect. So just vote, you just put 1 or 2. So I don't know why I was willing to pay 2,000 on a card that I was just going to shove under my desk. Hey, a lot of people do. Some people question their life afterwards, especially for those who bought an RTX 5090 and they just open a game. They're like, yeah, it's nice. And then all of a sudden they're like, man, I could have done this with another type of GPU and not spend $5,000. And then they start to contemplate their decision making in life. So I don't know why I was willing to. Let me see. I tried some mudboarder. Definitely has me more focused. Zero sugar lion's mane, chaga. You know that's getting popular too. I'm hearing a lot about that. Like the whole, they have like this mushroom coffee that's supposed to be really good. So I'm in the market for a new gaming controller. Any recommendation? Oh, okay. There's some really great ones actually. Gaming controller wise, I do highly recommend. I know it's hard to get it. Is that whole Steam controller? They do have the GameSir G7 Pro. I definitely recommend that controller. I'll actually send you the link for it. Let me see, and we can actually check it out too. The reason why this one is a really good choice is because you actually have TMR sticks. It has the whole 900 yards, everything that you can think of when it comes to this controller. Definitely a favorite for many out there, especially for those who game on PC. Let me see. I'll just pick this one here. So if anyone wants to check it out, they do have different variations. Feel free to check them out. Let's see, right there, and post them right here. There we go. Perfect. And I'll post it up here so you guys can see it. This is it, the GameSir. This is just one of them. They have different versions of it, and the polling rate's really high, 8K. And it does also feature. Let me see. That it also has like quite a few macros on there you can adjust. It's really interchangeable, which is nice. Let me see if it shows it here. So you can even change out the logo styles. This is what I meant here. So you can even, and it also has like really nice haptic feedback. Like for example, I know for this controller, and when you are gaming on a game such as, I'll use actually Forza, which is a great example. If you're gaming on a game like Forza, you can actually feel the tires actually rumble into the actual triggers, which is nice. You can actually feel the tire gripping. So that's something that you probably would love to have actually. I purchased the Intel 270K bundle for 550, and at least it's working great. I will keep this PC for at least oh yeah, that's the best thing to do. Let me see. Actually, I got my thing all covered up here. There we go. Beautiful. So it seems like more or so we'll probably go with a Intel type of 270K build tier. So we'll end up getting probably a kit from Micro Center. So when we go to Micro Center, it's not going to be too crazy because we already have like some of the things like a case. We have a case. More than likely, we have a power supply pretty much ready. I have some of the components as ready as well. We'll probably all we truly need is we're just going to need to get the motherboard, CPU, and the and well, I have RAM already actually, so just those two. But I'm using the ROG Raikiri wired. Oh, that's a great controller too, actually. Excellent cool controller. They have the second version now. So I heard that the next gen Intel CPUs and motherboards are getting rid of USB 2.0 support. It'll be USB 3 and higher with USB-C on the back. You know, that's the biggest thing I believe too. Is that yeah, exactly. I'm glad JCino definitely recommends it as well. But the right analog, and that's the problem with those controllers too. Like when it comes to the Xbox controllers, is that they're analog. These controllers here, like the G7, their TMR, so you don't have to worry about any stick drift at all. That it's not going to happen practically. So more than likely, let's actually take a look. Take a look at their kit now. Let's go to Micro Center, and we'll take a look at the different kits that they have available here, and we can definitely make some decisions. See what type of bundles that they have. Let's go Intel here. So they do got the RAM kit where it's 6400 megahertz, Gigabyte Z890 Eagle. Actually, all I need is these two really because I have RAM already, technically. So maybe we go to 270K plus and Gigabyte Z890 Eagle Wi-Fi 7. For 350 is actually an excellent deal. That's a really good deal. As considering that you're pretty much getting the motherboard like for 50 bucks. And somehow ended up, and that's a 270K plus. For anyone that hasn't seen it, I gotta say that 270K plus is very impressive. It's a really good processor. Definitely one of those underrated ones, and it has a very decent power. It's like nearly the power of the 285K. Even some points, at some points, especially in the rendering side, I gotta say, it's impressive for such a great deal for a processor. With the Intel 270K, I am using a air cooler, and the temps are well within range. That's excellent. Oh, you got the Raikiri too. I wonder how it is compared to truly the first gen, because I believe the second gen is where they more than likely fixed a lot of those issues, like the analog sticks. And you're using the air cooler and it's still getting well within range. That just tells you how good that cooler is. That middle 7800 X3D deal was for 600. Now it's $700. Now I missed it and picked by 2 days because of work. Oh, that sucks. Next time, just call out. Lesson learned. You'll save your money if you just call out of work sometimes. So they have a full white kit here, 500 bucks. This one's pretty dope. It has the Asus As You Wish board, Z890, and this one's a 265K. Um, but as you know, we want to go for 270K. The 265s, I would imagine, are probably selling for really good deals because they're just trying to offload them. Same thing with the 285Ks. Kind of hard to justify purchasing 285Ks at this point because why go to 85 when you can get something like the 270K? It's just so much better of a deal. Yeah, and yeah, I do get that point of it. But you know what the crazy thing is? I don't know why they chose to focus. Now again, I don't really mind it until making their choice here, but they're choosing to extend the life of Raptor Lake, the Raptor Lake generation. So that's interesting. I feel more than anything. I wonder why they chose to extend that instead of extending the life of extending Arrow Lake, because you would think Arrow Lake would be one of the sockets that they would allow, like pretty much extend their life because it had such a short life. But then again, it's a great set, especially for those who are looking for a something that lasts at least for 5 years. And most people end up keeping their PCs like for 5 years or even more. Especially because it seems like hardware it does last a lot longer than it used to. But that is a great point about it being a dead-end socket. So if you are the type that prefers more of upgrading your CPU every once in a while, especially for those who are on AM5, that does help extend the life without buying a whole new motherboard. So Pelican says LGA 17 has, yeah, that's true. That's right. You just reminded me. The main reason why they wanted to bring it back because of that option. You can use DDR4 if you want. So it is a great option for those that does want to end up using something like Raptor Lake. And also Alder Lake. Alder Lake's still a great generation. Still one of my favorites. The Intel 270K Plus kit shows white memory sticks, but they gave me. Oh, really? That's funny. You should, you know what you should have said? Like, where's the white ones? I wanted the white ones. You probably did already. And they probably said that they don't have any, right? DDR4 support. Yeah, that's right, Mike. I said hi to you, Mike, right? If I didn't, I apologize. What's up, Mike? Um, so DDR4 full depreciated processes, high frequencies, trading still relies on KS. Yes, that makes sense. It's fun. Funny that he actually brought that up because it just reminded me of the whole reasoning. I'm like, that's right, because they want to keep DDR4. Um, it kind of gives you a good indication though of what the market currently is thinking, because then does that mean we're gonna have that high probability of a chance to see B550 boards again? Or once again, can you imagine that seeing B550 boards again come back to life? Oh, good. Yeah, have a good morning over there. 826. Yes. Ah, how is it over there? Is it how's the temps right now? Definitely warm here in Miami. So anyway, um for anyone that's looking for a kit, I highly recommend the 275 kit. I mean, not 275. The 270K kit is a great kit to go with, especially for the pricing. Of course, the one negative of it is that you're unable to upgrade the processor after this. So once you choose to go this route, that's pretty much it. And one of the reasons why it's one of the cheaper options to be able to go with Intel. Now, of course, if you go to the AMD side, you do have a bit more life. They're talking about extending the life even to Zen 7, which is quite insane. Can you imagine Zen 7 still on AM5? But that gives you a good indication of what could possibly be coming to AM6. And when they do choose to go AM6, I feel like they will be ending up going to go to like DDR6. I feel like that's probably one of the factors. So next they're gonna bring back MS. Oh, could you imagine that? People would be they would not know what to do, because especially when it came to opening it. Well, you know what? I take that back. Some of the Linux people might be happy with that actually, and they might know what to do. But you do have the other half that will not know what to do. Now, Mike Bruzone says, well, high frequency trading relies on lower latency, but traders don't mind just burning through them and then just buying another kit. Ah, nice. 1127. Yes. I'm pretty much on the east side. I'm on the same timing. It's 1127 here. In wonderful Florida. So, but of course, it's been really warm on this side at least. I feel bad for anybody over in the Texas side. I've seen how humid it is, especially in the Houston area. Jeez, 100. Um, I've seen temperatures pushing 125, 130. It's insane. And this isn't, of course, real temperatures. This is more like a including the real field, the actual like the dew point. 130 degrees. That's what it feels like, but it might be like 95 or 96 degrees. But that's insane. I think yesterday was like more of a hotter days here in Miami. It felt like it was roughly. I think it said like 100 and 107, but it really was like 93. Yeah, it's hot. Oh man. Are you over there right now? My old computer, I am going to have to go Linux. My CPU will not work properly and it crashes. This is my 7 year. Hey, Linux it definitely expands the life when it comes to a PC. You can truly get some incredible life out of a PC if you just swap it over to Linux. It's like a brand new PC. Especially because it that my biggest complaint when it comes to Windows is just the unnecessary resources, especially the resources for advertisements. It's gotten truly ridiculous when it comes to Windows OS. Like, who would have thought we would have seen the day that you open up a start menu and then you're seeing an advertisement? Let's see what we got this time. Uh, let's see. Let's see what we. I am really curious. Um, Like, for example, you see an advertisement of, for example, Xbox. Like, that's just really ridiculous. Like, uh, let's hope Microsoft brings it back to normal. And when the AMD RDNA 2027 third quarter? I believe so. I believe it will be then. You know, the funny thing is when it comes to RDNA 5, when it was supposed to be released was actually supposed to be scheduled, like I believe this late this year. Same thing when it came to Nvidia, late this year as well. So, and same with the consoles like PlayStation 6, and when it came to the new Project Helix, it was supposed to be slated like end of the year. But of course, due to hardware constraints, forces another a delay when it comes to new hardware. So it's pushing everything over to the flip side. It's pushing them all over to 2027. So it makes you now. Let me throw GTA 6 in the mix because now because of the limited hardware and everything too. Just imagine if GTA 6 says, you know what, we'll go 2027 too. You know how many people would be pissed off, especially that you have like a new console coming out? And then you got the people who bought a new PlayStation 5 Pro because they thought that it was going to last them, and then they find out they're going to have a new definitive edition of GTA 6, but on PlayStation 6 or on Project Helix. So the real interesting thing is that actually has Zen 4, Zen 5, and Zen 6 on AM4 because in my case, it's on another chiplet and they need to substrate that in order for newer CCDs. Well, that is the case. I have three Asus I know those laptops. They're like the work laptops from 15 years ago. Ubuntu runs great on them with 2 gig. Isn't that crazy? That's you see how much life it can get like off of something like that because even though it is a older laptop, it still runs great. The resources are just not nearly as much. I think Microsoft will introduce Windows 12 ad free for $259. And Ellis was thinking of Catch OS. I'm one of the engineers at AMD. You can verify me. Oh awesome. I'm sure you are. Never tried that one. How does it compare? Catchy OS. Catchy OS is decent. I know a lot of people are into Arch Linux. I know Ernesto here. He's into using Linux Mint. There's a lot of great there's a lot of great distros when it comes to Linux. They all have their perks and of course their quirks as well. So scrolling down here. Now, compared to the longevity, again, like when it comes to the board's longevity, if you're looking to keep it for so long, say you want it for, you know that you're going to keep it for, like, say, another 5 to 7 years. Now, if you do this, AMD is a great option because you always had the options of upgrading the CPU. Now, if you get a 7500 X3D, that's pretty much like you're pretty much on, I want to say Zen, yeah, Zen 4, right? Yeah, Zen 4. So you're on Zen 4, then you can upgrade all the way up to Zen 7. So you got that much of a jump. Now, when it comes to Intel, if you choose to go with Arrow Lake, you don't have as much of a jump. You have a limited choice between Arrow Lake and Arrow Lake Refresh. When it comes to the Raptor Lake now, you have Raptor Lake Refresh, and then whenever they choose to come out with their new versions of Raptor Lake, which is, I think they're calling it so far Raptor Lake Next. So you do have those options between those boards. So even going a 14900K wouldn't be a bad option, especially if you're looking to build a PC. Those would be the best way to start off with. Now, when it comes to Fantastic Tech, when it comes to Amazon, like if you're looking for the deals, again, they do have a Micro Center here. I actually posted one of their deals for a Micro Center bundle. And if you take a look at their Micro Center bundle here, They have the 7800X 3D, and B850, and this is $590. Now, if you compare that to their actual bundle here with the 7800, let's see how much theirs is here. 7800X 3D. They have 9600X, 7600. Yeah, not sure. 70, they don't have one. Okay, so they don't have a 7800 X3D bundle here. Closest one they have is the 9800 X3D and 7600 X3D. Those would be the closest. So this is actually, it makes sense, this deal for 589, sort of. You would hope that it comes with some sort of RAM, but this unfortunately does not. Intel will fab next generation CPUs for AMD. Really, that would be interesting case if that's the case. Wow, Americans are lucky with the prices. We get lucky to a certain extent. Now that's for those who have a micro center near them. Not unfortunately, not all Americans have a micro center near them, and some of them could certainly attest to that and tell you that how much they would love having a micro center near them. But some of the pricing is going to be a bit more expensive than others. So Catchy OS has a Windows Fuel that will, yeah, that's what they say. It's like pretty much like Linux Windows, they call it. That's its like nickname. That is a great point that you brought up to say this. But yeah. If you don't have a Micro Center near you, you can go with a bundle like this. I worry about Microsoft not supporting older CPUs. Just like with Windows 11, I had a original Surface laptop with a 17 to 8 CPUs. It was not supported. Yeah, you know, the problem was because of the TPM. That was the biggest issue. But then they started doing Windows 11 where you could do bypass the TPM by installing it through you could bootstrap it without TPM if you wanted to. But I think they actually started blocking that now. Here in my country, that CPU is around $1,200. Oh, really? That is insane. What country are you located in, Void? So Intel. Yes. That we actually just spoke about that, Steve. We were talking about going with Intel. More than likely with the build. It seems like the majority has voted for Intel. So good morning, heading to the farmer's market. Oh, awesome. Yeah, enjoy it. Farmer's market is always the best. It's always a good time going. So for anyone that is curious about this whole AMD AMD build, it is AMD build, Threadripper build. We did manage to raise up to $201. So we will eventually get there. We might, but by the time we might get there, we might hit the 10,000 series of Threadripper. But that's okay. We will get there eventually. So thank you everyone that has gotten involved into the project. I do got to thank Hidden Bull. I got to thank Tony. I got to thank all you guys, Wasabi, and of course Takuma for being part of the wonderful fan band. And of course, think about joining in, become members or subscribers onto the YouTube or Twitch channel. And for those who are joining on X, feel free to join in as well. So 3 times the price. Yeah, that's insane. Tunisia. Really? That's crazy. It's amazing that 6 months ago everyone was ripping Intel. That's what I mean. I'm trying to help with that. I'm trying to get people to look into the good of Intel now. I think a lot of hate came from Intel, especially when it came to the 13, 14 gen, because of the burning CPUs. They were just slamming Intel for this. So I saw a used Threadripper on Craigslist for 3,000 Canadian. I wanted to post it on Discord, but someone bought it before. Oh man, that's actually really good. It had really? Oh my gosh, that would be nice. Getting it 128 gigabytes of RAM. That alone is worth the money. I can't believe it. Yeah, that would have been great for you too. especially for your LLMs. That would be excellent. Ah, man. Let's take a look at Micro Center's kit. See which ones that they have because they probably went up. Our goal originally was to hit 7,000. I mean 6,000. And yeah. So this is the kit that we would probably go with, and I'll throw whatever I can when uh when I do get the chance, of course, to try to um get this done, get this Threadripper build going. The memory for the Threadripper is over 40. I know. It's insane. Like when you click onto it and you check out this Threadripper build here, if you click it, you know what it was? So many people returned it open box, but now it looks like they're all new now. They had so many open box ones, it was insane. But now this whole kit is insanely expensive. They don't at one at 4,600. If you get more than two, it's still 4,600. What's the difference then if you bought more than two? But yeah, $4,600 each for the kit. So 150 to 200 CPU and $500 to a 750 GPU if you're set in Linux. Yeah, like if you go full Linux build, for anyone that is thinking of going full Linux and you want to use something like Arch Linux, or if you want to use something like Steam OS, or you want to use what's the other one? Slipping my mind here. Uh Parasite. If you want to use Parasite as well, you can go full AMD build. That would be the way to go. And you don't have to put Windows at all at that point. Of course, currently with Linux, they're actually working on ways where they actually work with Intel GPUs as well, which is pretty dope. Um, of course, I know some people when Nvidia would love that. GPU should be half the price of the build. Yeah, it should be technically. GPUs are just insanely they get it's just going to get worse, unfortunately, especially for how AMD says that they're going to raise it up 10 to 15% more because of this whole RAM debacle. But fortunately, NVIDIA isn't going to follow through as well. They're not going to follow through the nodes as well. And that they're not going to raise their pricing, that they're going to keep their pricing. And I think mainly I agree with everybody here too as well. That the reason why they're going to end up keeping their pricing is because that they're just trying to offload what they have. The reason why they want to offload all their 50 series is because they want to get the whole 50 Super series. I'm starting to truly believe that that is on the way. I originally believed that Nvidia would end up skipping the whole Super series and that they would just go straight to the 6000 series. But that may not be the case anymore. That they might just go 50 series, 50 Super series, because if they do this, they don't have to worry about preparing Ruben's platform to go into a consumer market. This way, they just can stick with Blackwell, and all they have to do is upgrade the VRAM. And from what I just heard a bit earlier, that's not as simple as swapping out the 2 GB, the gigabyte, 2 GB memory over to 3 GB. There might be some slight modifications to it, so that's why it might not be as simple as it sounds. But hopefully they'll be able to do it well enough to where you have a finally RTX 5080 Super to where you got 24 GB, where many would take full advantage of that. And it would certainly be fast enough, especially for those who are trying to take advantage of like the whole new DLSS5 where you want normal rendering. Then it could be a bit more possible on a GPU such as those. If not, then you would have to prepare for the new next generation of the RTX 6000 line for that to happen. And I truly believe that they're not going to call it RTX series anymore. They're going to give it a different name, whether it's PTX or whether if it's AI or ATX or first ATX would be weird because it's you just automatically think of building a PC if it's AITX. Maybe I don't know. Micro Center just released a video of a moving a Threadripper from a computer case to a server rack. Also included 2 ArcV. Oh, really? That's pretty wild. um, so for the deals right now, I know a lot of you are really excited for the upcoming deals for Amazon's Prime Day deals. They are coming. They will start on the 22nd. Same thing with Fantastic. That's also coming. And when the deals come out, I will certainly share it with everybody out there. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for the lives, also videos, and also I will post up on Discord and I will put the post on X as well. So I remember Linus Tech Tips doing a build years back that had 1.5 terabytes of RAM. Yeah, I remember that too. I actually watched that as well. I can't imagine having that much RAM. It's just insane. But just imagine the capabilities that you could have today. Um, ever- First, it's like this whole cryptocurrency many people were afraid of, like when it came to GPUs, that people would just use it to just pretty much mine. Now it's at the point where people are just taking advantage of the RAM side of things and LLMs and AI. And unfortunately, this is the age that we're currently in. Hopefully that it does end up getting resolved sometime soon, or it just turns out to be well overblown hype. Um, and more than likely, I feel like it's going to be like a bit of both. I feel that it's more than likely going to end up cooling off, especially in the upcoming months. I truly believe that it's gotten uh, well over way too much attention as it is. Definitely one of the biggest markets is when it came to if you look at how much money investors actually put into AI, it's over $2.7 trillion, and it's just increasing even more. And then plus you do have like these, you have AI building even more pretty much like server factories out there. But I do think it's pretty funny that somebody actually brought up that they're going to raise the price of water because thanks to having these extra servers just for AI. But hopefully the cooling off period is more sooner than later. We don't want to see more price raising. It's already painful as it is. And I know this pisses off a lot of people too. Uh, as going back onto the whole cloud gaming thing here, Nvidia is talking about their memberships here. Let me show you the Nvidia GeForce Now, and now they got different offers to try to bring more people in. And this is like one of the big theories that they're pushing us to this moment to push us into cloud gaming. So I would need to go over 16 gigabytes of RAM now. If you need more in the future, you can get it then. Absolutely. If you can't get RAM now, just get 16 at least, just to start off with. It's something. Didn't know SK Hynix? Yes. SK Hynix said that it would continue until 2030. They this was right after they just partnered up with Nvidia, and it was like pretty much like, yeah, we're gonna delay the RAM until, or we're gonna have a delay till like 2030, guys. And you have PC, the PC build hardware market is also suffering big time. You had MSI come out and say that they're facing financial difficulties as it is now. They face like about like 50 to 51% less people purchasing PC hardware, and the reason couldn't be any more obvious. The rising prices are just unsustainable. You look at now, of course, ASUS is a great company. ASUS is excellent company when it comes to PC hardware. But the realistic side of things, like when you take a look at the anniversary editions, um, now I have to mention this up because this is truly a very unique case here. If you look at all their hardware together, when it comes to their AIO, their motherboard, their GPU, their whole 20, they call it the 20 series line for their anniversary edition, and you put all that together, it was already added up in China because pretty much a lot of their pricing leaked out there, and it was roughly about $6,600. Like nobody's going to have that type of money to spend on a PC. And I remember when Jensen Hung joked about having a $10,000 PC build back in 25 of CES during that press conference, and look, we're exceeding it at this point. So, what does that mean for the next gen RAM? Is it delayed Gen 6? Um, well, they are coming out with Gen 6. It's just not going to be really on the consumer side. They already have it on the pretty much on the enterprise side. And they are working on the consumer side. One company is actually pushing it out for, I believe, 27. And but they already expect all of it to be pretty much bought out by AI because, of course, they're the ones that are have the unlimited funds to be able to keep purchasing. So even if it does end up coming out, we won't really see it because we're gonna end up being on AM5's platform for another generation for AMs for even Zen 7. So if that's the case, it's gonna be on Zen 8, AM6. More than likely, we would see DDR6, PCI Express 6. For Intel, it's more than likely going to end up being the same case. I'm just really curious to see how they will handle it, especially when it comes to their new 52 core monster. Could you imagine? But anyway, they're not going to go DDR6 anyway on that platform. I don't believe that they are. Same thing when it comes to PCI Express 6. That's going to go coincide with each other. We won't see that till probably 28 maybe 28 20 no not 28, I'm sorry, 29, because that's when AMD says that that's how long they plan on keeping the platform. But if it continues, if SK Hynix is accurate on what they say of 2030, and then they come out with these platform, then it's possible they could end up delaying it again. So the RTX 5060 Ti 16 gigabytes good. I mean, it's decent. If you're using it for 1080p, it's great. It's excellent. It's really good for that. Decent for 1440. But don't expect to go full out max specifications. I mean, max resolution and not max resolution. What am I saying? Max. Uh, no, let me drink some water so I could get some thought in my brain here. Uh, Max quality is what I'm looking for. Don't expect to be max quality on every setting when it comes to 1440, but you will have respectable frames at max if you try to push it then. If you can't, then you will have to adjust it to like roughly like probably like in the mid, like between performance and quality. So, yeah, 16 gigabytes TI is good. Okay, yeah, if you go Linux, yes, get AMD. It's much better to get AMD because of the drivers, which is going to be pretty much on the what's the word that they use in Linux again? Besides the drivers, I can't think of the word. Yes, thank you, Dark Style. Max settings, ultra on settings. Yes, don't expect ultra on everything. That's exactly it. But it's still a great GPU. If you're using it for games such as like Counter Strike 2, if you're yeah, I wouldn't worry. If you're using it more on games like heavier AAA titles, Unreal Engine 5, Gears of War, E-Day type of titles, then it's going to, of course, take a little bit of adjustments, a little bit of tuning for it to work correctly, to work as well as you want it to. Yes. Coffee is fuel. It's life at this point. Absolutely is. Without it, it's hard to have brain function. You have a lot of misfiring happening up there. When does Unreal Engine 6 will more than likely drop when you see the new generation. It's not going to happen now. The reason being is because it's going to be hopefully an improvement over Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is already rough as it is. They're currently on Unreal Engine 5.8. So it's going to more than likely be I would say like within the next year once they start introducing RDNA 5, next generation GPUs, that's when you'll see Unreal Engine 6. It should be. It should be. That's what they claim. I mean, they said the same thing about Unreal Engine 5. Yeah. I wouldn't expect it. It wouldn't be a while. It wouldn't make sense to drop it on a generation like this because it's of course going to improve the quality of graphics. It should be a lot more fluid, and definitely hopefully less resourceful when it comes to the CPU because Unreal Engine 5 is very CPU heavy as well. So I just saw the Unreal. Yes, isn't it crazy? Unreal Engine 5.8 is excellent. I certainly hope it improves. It seems like they come out with a a new version every roughly like 2 to 3 months. No, no, longer, 6 months, I would say. We can kiss optimization goodbye. It's almost getting to that point. Next gen GPUs, I'll have to sell a kidney. Oh, it's gonna be rough. Next gen GPUs, I'm truly scared for it. If the AI is continuing the way it is, it's gonna be rough. Even though sounds far, it sounds especially far when you hear next generation, it truly isn't. It'll go by fast. Just like when you think about the RTX 50 series, it technically came out in just last year, 25. We're in 26. We're about to go to 27. Next thing you know, we'll hit the RTX 6000 series or PTX or AITX or something. Unreal Engine 4. Yeah, it was excellent. It was really good at the time. Uh, 3 was great, 4 was excellent. 5 was I just don't know what they were thinking. I wanted to Gigabyte's Infinity 5090, but the price hurt. I think I hurt a lot of feelings. $5,200 isn't pocket change. That's not really accessible to many people out there, especially if you're trying to build a PC. That's a large majority. That exceeds the cost for many people. Probably exceeds the cost of the whole PC itself, which is insane. By the way, why does AI why AI doesn't optim? Yeah. You know what's funny? Speaking of that, one of the biggest complaints about the Steam Next Fest that happened. A lot of the games were actually used with AI. Like AI helped create those games. Instead of received a lot more complaints than actual praise. And it's unfortunately we're in the era where we're going to see a lot more of it, whether we like it or not. Um, it's just on how they use it. Hopefully, they don't use it to the point where it interferes with the actual. How do I say? Not the. Of course, it interferes with the art. That's a more obvious sense, but doesn't interfere with the creativity side. I fear more for the creativity side more than anything. So I used to load for my custom made 3D models in Unreal Engine 4 and walk around. Oh, that's pretty dope. The Quarry was on Unreal Engine 4 and it ran great. Yeah, exactly. That 5090 is a PC. Yeah, that 5090 should have a CPU. It should has VRAM. Technically, you can split it out a little bit. You can it has a board that it's sitting in. Maybe you can just use it directly as a. Can you imagine seeing a Infinity like someone actually gets the RTX Gigabyte the RTX 5090 Gigabyte Infinity and just sit it on the desk and be like, yeah, that's all I can get right now. Have the HDMI or the display port hooked up directly to it, and it's just sitting there. The 5090 is a fire hazard and needs a power limit for the safety reasons. I mean, people joke about it, like when it comes to the direct power to the GPU, like just instead of plugging just directly to the power supply, have the GPU have its own type of cord. It would look pretty wild though. Can you imagine two cords coming out of your PC case and just one's to power up your GPU and one's to power up your PC? But in that case, you wouldn't need as much of a power supply. You wouldn't need as powerful of a power supply at that point. I'm going to give the 9070 XT a try for 2 to 3 months and see how much I actually notice switching from the 5090. Now I wish I used a 1440p monitor instead of 4K 240. Could always get one. They have great deals on them currently. I actually brought one up, 1440 27 inch if you're looking for a 34 inch, if you're looking for an ultra wide, they do have those options there. The one was the XG27 is a really good deal from Asus. It's OLED and it's only 450. I think it might be even cheaper now because they have if you go on Newegg, they actually have a coupon deal on it. I think you can get it as low as 400, but let me double check it actually. Newegg XG27 OLED. Right here. Yeah, 400. QHD. Yep, this is it. $400. So they do have this one. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll send it over. Don't worry, it's on me, right? I have a 9070 XT, and it's really a 1440p card, and it's an introductory card for 4K. Nice. So, FanBam guys, I appreciate everyone for coming in. Hopefully, you guys had a excellent time. If you guys are interested in this deal, let me know. I will send you the link. And yeah, sure thing. Uh, Make sure you guys join in on Discord. I appreciate everyone for being part of the wonderful stream. Uh, Much love to everybody. I thank Anellis. I thank Hidden Bull. I thank Darkstyle. I thank Void for coming in. I also got to thank Steve. I thank T Dune, Anellis, Mark Kavitz for coming in, Pillow Coon, Brock Shore, Mark Kravitzy. I thank Mike Brazone for coming in. I thank all you guys, Takuma and Wasabi. Hopefully you guys get to tune in. When I go for this Micro Center stream, I will definitely let you guys know when we go and pick up the parts. Thank you guys all for coming in and watching, and hopefully you guys have a excellent weekend and enjoy. If you guys enjoy FIFA, enjoy some FIFA. Have some fun. Watch the games. Have a great weekend, Bam Bam.